Hello, IGN. My name is Jose Otero, and we are about to kick in the door to this Gears of War review discussion. Here to talk about Gears of War Ultimate Edition with me, Brian Albert.
Hey, everyone.
You are the reviewer for this game.
That's correct. I'm playing this video game.
Yes, and you are playing it.
Oh, nice. Perfect way to start this.
That is a great way to start it. You got the chainsaw and the shot in the back combo.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Overkill.
Pretty much. So, Gears of War Ultimate Edition is a remaster. To a degree, right, of the original.
A remaster
Gears
of the
War.
first Gears. Yep, that came out in 2006, so it's been almost 10 years.
You are playing a chapter or a level in Act 5 that was not in the console version of this game.
Right, this was in the PC one that had like games for Windows Live on it.
Wow.
There are 5 new chapters in the game, and they are all stuffed into the final act.
Okay. Do they make sense in the final act, like narratively, just out of curiosity?
Yeah. I mean, it's spoilers, maybe? Do I say spoilers?
Maybe we shouldn't spoil it, but if it feels like it makes sense to put them there, then by
it makes sense, and it's a big action set piece that kind of continues throughout the 4 chapters or the 5 chapters.
Okay.
And it's really good. It's one of the best parts.
So then let's talk about Gears of War, the original Gears of War, which is in Ultimate Edition, a remaster. Anyone who picks this up is also getting all of the other Gears as backwards compatible downloads.
You have to play it within, I think, a few months of launch. I don't know the exact dates. I'll throw those in the review at the bottom or something. But yeah, you get 1 through 3 and Judgment.
Okay, so that's a whole lot of Gears, but you're looking at basically Gears 1 in the prettiest you will ever see it, right? I mean, like, talk about this a little bit, this sort of upgrade. How does it strike you? Does it stand up? Like, does it really, have you gone back to the first game and gone like, holy cow, this is a big step up?
I did look at some old videos, and it is a big step up. What's nice, so Gears was amazing looking at the time when it came out.
Yeah.
Like, uncontested, the best looking game on 360.
Yeah.
And
of the HD generation that was just starting at that time.
Yep, it was fantastic. And the game still looks good, the old one when you go back, but this is how I remember it looking. And that's one of the best things about remasters is that your memories don't have to be tarnished. Like, this upgraded new version is what you think Gears look like in a weird way.
Okay, yeah. And I mean, for folks at home, right, like the original Gears of War, it wasn't, I mean, it was a big, loud sort of game, but it wasn't quite as bombastic and over the top as 2 started to become and 3 started to become. Like, the set pieces just got bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
Whereas this one, you are in some confined spaces, and there are some crazy, crazy choke point wars, essentially.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite things about this game. And I like to point out, so Gears' successes, first of all, again, we said, is really beautiful. It had really great multiplayer on Xbox 360, and that was at a time when Xbox Live was still on new hardware, still trying to figure out its footing a bit. So a lot of its accomplishments were tied to the time it came out, but I think that's not fair, really. It takes away from Gears.
Yeah.
I think this game was super smart with its encounters and with the tone. That's actually one of my favorite things that I point out, and my review will go up soon. We're just doing kind of a little in-progress Let's Play while I check the servers.
Absolutely, yeah. Okay.
These characters are, I mean, they're bros. Like, they're you can imagine them just, like, slamming beers in college. Like, they are...
Crushing cans on their foreheads.
Yeah, they got, like, fire hydrant arms. Like, they're... Like, everything about them is, like, big and masculine. And little details like that could have ruined Gears if it had tried to be subtle, but it doesn't. Like, it 100% commits to this, like, over-the-top bombastic style.
Yeah.
And because it's so convincing and believable, like, I don't think it's dumb.
yeah, no, I completely agree with you. And I feel like as a multiplayer game, especially, like, all of the maps that I remember, my favorite maps were symmetrical. It was just a race to certain power weapons and making sure that you were able to, like, find sniping positions, take cover at the right spot. And in the first game, it was still really pure. Versus, like, you know, my memories of Gears of War 2, which are mostly good, it still turned into, like, the shotgun 2-piece combo and things like that just, at the end of the day, like, got really out of hand.
Whoa, these guys kind of came around flanking me.
Yeah, they came around really fast, and that was something I really appreciated. That and just the co-op nature of it all, right? That this was one of the, not just one of the best-looking sort of games of its time, but the idea that a friend can jump into a game with you. It was a co-op campaign, and it was super fun on both ends, right? You had to, like, work together and get through these sort of set pieces and find flanking maneuvers, and, you know, maybe the AI wasn't top in class on, you know, keeping you on the edge of your seat. It depended on the difficulty, of course, but man, there were good stories and good times and all of that, you know?
Yeah, the AI is weird. I don't think it's necessarily really intelligent. It doesn't do a lot of different things, but it does a couple of things very well.
Yeah, yeah.
It constantly has me like moving around for different cover because they flank you, and sometimes they'll just charge at you, which you're like, well, that's dumb, but it's really not, because it exposes you and it makes you react in ways that like you might not be like tactically comfortable with.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like even though these fights are generally pretty small, the way the enemies keep moving around is engaging. Like, I never felt like there wasn't enough to do.
Yeah, especially when you see the higher guard later on, and they have, you know, the bow and arrow.
Oh, the torque bow.
Oh my god, like torque bow enemies. When you see that little glowing light, and you're just like, I need to get behind cover, like right now.
Yeah, like there's a few weapons in this game that are like the torque bow and the boom shot, where you're just like, I have to respect this.
Yeah, the boom shot, you need to respect the boom shot, because someone will put you down with a boom
But
shot.
I love that the guy who fires it just says boom before he shoots it. It's perfect.
Yeah, no, it was very perfect.
One thing I do want to point out, a flaw that I had with Gears that is still apparent now, is the A button just does too many things in this game. It is take cover, it is roll, it is bounce from cover to cover, it is mantle over cover, and so a lot of times if I'm just like sprinting, maybe trying to get away, like my character will stick to a wall like that. Like that was a little more of a deliberate one, of course.
Yeah, of course.
But
of course.
if you're like in combat and like just trying to get away, like a lot of times you'll stick to something and you'll die. And
yeah, it'll kind of commit you to a decision that you didn't want to make, and then you're like,
oh
no! And we were just talking about that.
That was really good.
Oh man, that was fantastic. Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. Where like it felt like, you know, the A button having too much to do. And I will say, like, what about multiplayer right now? Like, how does it feel? And is it still like Shotgun Bonanza 2006? Because that's what to some degree it was, and it was still fun for those reasons. But it was also somewhat frustrating for those reasons.
Yeah. So I think that was kind of the best way to play, which is why people did that all the time. Like. Shotgun rolling makes you evasive. Shotguns are strong. Like it's just smart to do. That's still happening a lot from what I've seen. They have added a few new modes to the game, which it's weird. They're not like crazy new modes. They're Team Deathmatch and King of the Hill. It's just funny that there was no Team Deathmatch before.
Yeah, that is kind of funny.
There were different modes about killing, but it was not Team Deathmatch.
Well, Gears still had the first Gears still had the there they go. Oh, you respect that boom.
You have to, man.
They still had oh my goodness, like I forgot what those guys look like. They are so big.
They're really creepy.
Yeah, and creepy. Wow. Yeah, no, I guess that was the reason why that was a thing, right? Like they were the best weapons at the time. I agree with you. And it still doesn't underscore the fact that torque bow kills, and that really good snipers know how to active reload and shoot you in the toe just to get you down.
Yep, that was one of my points in the game, is that because I can't think of a non-satisfying kill in multiplayer. Whether you're killing or being killed, it's always like, I just got fried by a space laser, or like a shotgun turned me into little meat parts.
Yes.
Or like every time something happens, it's a big deal, and it feels like personal. It's like I gotta get revenge, you know. It's really good.
So I will ask you this then. Speaking of like
what's up?
meaty bits,
Meaty bits.
That reminds me that one of my somewhat like odd beefs with going back to the original Halo like years ago, when there was the 10th anniversary and it was sort of remade or remastered to insert whatever word you want to put there. It was strange for me to go back to the original game because so many functions and ideas were added to Halo over time. Example, dual wielding, or grabbing someone's ghost, just overtaking it and kicking someone out of the seat, things like that. How is it to go back to the original Gears without having like meat shields or the heavier weapons that you can carry around in 3 or things like that? Like, does this game still somewhat hold up and kind of isolate itself in a way from that stuff?
It does.
Or do you miss that stuff?
I miss them, but this game was not built for you to need those. Like, meat shields are awesome. I think those were introduced in 2, but I could be wrong on that. They're great, but also a lot of the encounters just have a lot more enemies, and so you need more cover. You need mobile cover. I need to start paying attention.
Yeah, don't get shot
Same
up.
with like the big, like, heavy weapons. it's just built for different kinds of encounters. So yeah, I miss them, but I don't require them.
Oh, there you go. It's not a Gears of War Let's Play.
You have to chainsaw something.
Unless you chainsaw one thing, and you did it. So nice work. No, and I hear you on that. And even looking at this again, I kind of don't think I would miss it. And I think that the idea that they're including the other games as downloadable, backwards compatible downloads is a really smart way to get around that. Like, you're getting this Ultimate Edition with the best looking Gears of War 1 you're ever going to get, but you're still able to go back to those games and get that from them as well. Yeah, at the time I think it was just that Halo that was the only remaster in that, right? It wasn't like the Master Chief Collection where they put everything under the sun in one box.
Right. Yep.
Or almost everything under the sun. Cool, man.
Yeah.
You're doing really well so far, I must say.
I'm trying. See, I mentioned in my review, but sometimes when you're hurting and you need to get to cover, they know and they press that advantage and they just run at you.
Yeah, they come
and
at
so
you.
you have to retreat. Yeah, it's kind of a hard game, especially on Insane.
Yep.
On Insane, it will take you forever.
Are you playing on Insane right now?
No, I'm on normal right now.
Okay. Yeah.
I can't
damn,
repeat it.
yeah.
But anyway, yes, my full review coming soon once I play a bunch more multiplayer on the full servers.
All right, you have to stick a grenade to someone, otherwise this is not a.
I'm gonna run up and try, and if I die, that's
right
fine too.
there. There's your chance. You take it. You take that chance, Brian Albert, and you run.
Did I do it?
Yep, you got him.
Okay. All right, we can
There
end.
we go. And an explosive ending to our Gears of War Ultimate Edition. So this review is in progress. Brian so far really likes the game. You've heard a little bit about what he has to say so far. Check out the review on IGN. And for the full piece, it should be in 3 or 4 days, we hope. So make sure you check that out too. Thanks, Brian.
Thank you.
This was a lot of fun. And for more Gears of War coverage, you are already chainsawing at the right place. IGN.